I am ready to become like the shadows, dark and hidden within the deep night. I am ready to receive ancient knowledge, to let the past guide my movement through the future. I am ready to become like the blade, sharp and silent as my enemies are cut down. I am ready to become a cyber shadow.
Hey, dinner's ready.
Good. I told you that when the door is closed, you're supposed to knock before you just barge right.
Ah, the good old days. Back when you'd sit on the floor with your crappy tube TV and a painfully square controller. Well, Hollow Knight developer Yacht Club, they allow you to recreate that experience in the sci-fi Ninja Gaiden wannabe Cyber Shadow. Cyber Shadow is a retro slash platformer with 8-bit art, a fantastic 8-bit soundtrack, insanely difficult levels, and you really can recreate that crappy TV experience in the video settings. Well, it's a good thing I spent $600 and several months trying to beat scalpers to a new graphics card just so I can lower my graphics from 1440p in this game to like 9L. But 9L? It serves a purpose to complete the full experience of the retro slash platformer gaming from the past. Which brings up an important question. Do we really want to return to this type of video game? Or maybe we just want to get back to mining and crafting and putting 100 things in chests like a proper game from this era? But the answer to that question about wanting to return to this experience is actually yes and no. Let's get into it. So you start off in Cyber Shadow with just the basics, a single jump and a slash, and then you gain more, ninja-y type powers as the game continues. There's some bullshit story about a ninja clan and essence and robots, and well, that's the equivalent of a fortune cookie you get for free with your Chinese takeout. It's unsatisfying, it's kind of confusing, but no one really cares because that's not the reason you ordered Chinese takeout. No, you order Chinese takeout because you haven't interacted with a real person in like a year, and you'll be damned if this fucking quarantine takes away every last bit of happiness that you have left in your... But yeah, the only real important part of the story is that you are basically a robot yourself. So every time you die, you actually respawn and are rebuilt at the last checkpoint. Factory sealed with a new car smell. That means you have an infinite amount of lives to figure out how to overcome the game's increasing challenges, right? And several of these checkpoints also sell special glass cannon type items to help you with the challenge that's coming up. These items, they're super powerful, but taking a few hits will blow them up. And that'll leave you with only your basic skills to take on the remaining enemies until the next checkpoint. Now, this is a double-edged sword. Because on one hand, in theory, it allows you to experiment with different strategies and defeat each level on your own terms. But in practice, the later stages are so insanely difficult that you only find yourself playing one way, which is extremely careful in order to keep these toilet paper items from getting soiled before they reach the dirty butt of the hardest parts of the level. See, there's a specific formula that this type of game normally follows. You overcome a challenge, you get a new ability as a reward for beating that challenge, and then you use that ability to overcome a new challenge. As you add more and more tools and abilities to your arsenal, you eventually show off a full skill set, and you feel like a true badass in the later levels of the game. Cyber Shadow follows this formula up until the end game, where that payoff is supposed to happen, but instead the fun is replaced with blinding levels of frustration. See, somehow some designer decided that the real challenge of this game was going to be to spread the checkpoints really far apart, with several increasing challenges in between each checkpoint. This means that after some checkpoints, you'll play through the same easy section 100 times, the same medium section 50 times, until you play through those two sections so flawlessly that your special item survives, and it's just enough to get you through the hard section one time. Until then, you just die. Just fuck my shit up, fam. And die. I'm so fucked. Oh my gosh. And die. Oh, what? And die. No, no. And die. Oh my gosh. This game. And die. No, I'm not gonna fall on the spikes. Oh my God, there's spikes up there. I had a distinct drop off in my joy with this game. I went from gushing about this game in chapter 6. It's super fun. You might want to try it. Like, it's really cool to kind of go back to these old school slash and ninja stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
to ranting about how bad the design was in chapter 8. Honestly, I'm not even having fun with it anymore, and I haven't slept or ate in 5 days, and I really think you might want to call a doctor.
Wow, that's cool.
The bosses, which are supposed to be these like additional challenges to show off all your moves, they actually act as brief respites from this. It was a huge relief to me to face a boss that I'd only have to fight a few times, considering it took me 30 attempts to get to the checkpoint right before the boss anyways. Now, aside from this perplexing design philosophy, the rest of the gameplay is fantastic. And aside from those gigantic gaps between checkpoints, I found a lot of the challenges really exciting. Combined with the beautiful art and the exciting soundtrack, you have an almost perfect return to the retro 8-bit super hard gaming days of yore. It's just unfortunate that the developers decided to go full sadist towards the end of the game. So you old school masochists out there who don't mind being forced into perfecting a level, enjoy. But you old farts with slow fingies like me, maybe you have a nice early dinner instead. Well, if I've successfully scared you away from this game, be sure to give me a thumbs up and check out some of my other game reviews for something maybe a little bit easier for you old fogies. And of course, be sure to keep gaming out there. Doctor's orders.